Namaste and good evening to all. Distinguished guests, delegates, IED's innovators, and other members of Bhavan's family. Bhavan's Royal Institute of Management, under the aegis of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, is renowned for its holistic academic endeavors for human development. This evening, our Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Center, Bhavan's IEDC, is organizing a platform for different learning experience and are delighted to invite you all for the webinar organized by Bhavan's IEDC with Ms. Anuja Bashir, CEO of Aurea, CMO of FlexiCloud, Marketing and Brand Strategist. She embodies various roles as women empowerment enthusiast, business leader, brand custodian, business coach, and mentor for startups and SMEs. She completed her graduation as a civil engineer from Martha Athanasius College of Engineering, post graduation from CUSAT in ocean engineering, and upper courses related to marketing and strategy from IIM Bangalore and Wharton University. She has 14 years of experience in professional career, both in corporate tie-up and academia. She's a well-curated, customer-driven marketing expert with more than 20 plus years of corporate experience. I extend a warm welcome to you, ma'am, on behalf of Bhavan's family. Link for the feedback and e-certificates will be put in the chat box after the session. Kindly requesting you, ma'am, to take over the session.
Yours is a MBA school, I guess, School of Business or something?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So I don't need to teach you all what basic marketing is all about. But, what we study in theory, especially in our, B schools, or what you call the, we have a framework or a structure according to which we look upon, okay, this is what is called business, and this is the ecosystem we are actually plunging in, or something like that. But when it comes to the real time, or when it comes to implementation part, most of the time you really need to know what exactly this theory is about. That's what I am trying to get a class on it, as well as I'm going to cover few tools which can be used in marketing. Basically, we call them marketing automation tools, which can help us in saving a lot of money, because these particular tools can be used for those activities which are done by skilled people. Okay, so we need resources. So hiring them, paying them, that's a tedious process and it requires a lot of money. So marketing automation tools help you to save those monies, and also you will have a know-how of what this is all about, a better understanding of how to use it, and while using it, you yourself will evolve with some strategies. So shall I begin the class straight away?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Today we are going to understand few types of marketing and some marketing tools which can be used for marketing. So what is basically by definition marketing called? Okay, being MBA students, I'm pretty much sure that you would be knowing, but still as an introduction part, I would say that marketing is a process or a kind of phenomenon in which we get potential clients of customers who are either interested in our products or in our services, and we actually provide a few platforms for for them to get our services or our products. So the process which actually takes place to make that transaction more ease. The transaction goes with more ease and seamless when we have a right type of marketing. So marketing basically involves, all of you all know, it's researching, promoting, selling, and distributing your products and services. Okay, what is now when the word marketing comes on your mind, the first thing I would always say that marketing is a common term which everybody can say, that if you check, if you go to webinars, if you go to so though you are not entered into the actual business ecosystem, but still you are aware of it, that if you get into this market itself, you will find most of the people are kind of, they claim that they are marketers, or you can see a lot of marketing company in it. So again, somebody recently asked, the veteran in business, Mr. Yusuf Ali, the one and only person and the brain behind Lulu, that whether an MBA is required for actually being into business or growing up business. So his answer was, need not that you need an MBA, but you should have the right strategy and right implementation skills. But definitely the theory would help you if you know how to implement this strategy. So on that note, we should have the right and perfect strategies to implement what actually we need through our marketing. So that is the first thing we have to keep in our mind, what exactly we are doing for. It's kind of like, our marketing strategy, or as it call as it can be comprised, or it can be called as a if in a triangle you take, what is your marketing strategy, what to sell, where to sell, how to sell. That is a basic triangle which helps you to have a perfect marketing strategy. So you should know what is it you're selling, what are the USBs of it, how it is, what is the importance of it, how can it enter or penetrate into a existing market which already has a product or service like this, or if it is a new disruption or something like that. So you should exactly know what is this product is capable of, or what is growth all about in future, what changes, or I mean the evolvement that can happen with this product or service. So that is where I said that the particular product or service, we should know everything about the product. Okay. Now then, it is about where to sell. So where to sell means, of course, it is your target market and your targeted audience. So you have to understand, you can see, if it's basically like a nut and ball thing. You have a product, you should know where exactly it sells, who's your right audience. When you target the right audience, they'll be interested in you, and that sales funnel works there, wherein you attract the customers, you get them engaged, finally you convert it, and then the delight process happens. So I'm just telling you what are the benefits of using the right marketing strategies. Using various channels to get leads. It's a spelling mistake. It's get leads. So to get leads, that digital marketing, in digital marketing, we generate leads through digital marketing campaigns. So you can, it's not only one certain campaign. There are a lot of things which we can do, like creating what do you call, marketing collaterals for it. You can actually go for ads, you can do PR works, a lot of different channels, but everything finally gets into a particular funnel where this solid hot leads come in, and it is easy to filter them and convert them into, like it said, tunneling hot referrals to strong leads, utilizing the marketing budget wisely. You know why this strategy helps you in marketing budgeting? Because if we use the right amount for the right purpose, you are not unwantedly spending out money here and there. Because this happens with most of the startups, because I'm a startup mentor. I know many of them has gone through this the cliche thing where they spend a lot of money in the name of marketing, and at last, when the right opportunity for marketing comes, they lack fund. They say that they do not have money, and finally they cannot pitch into the market. So if you have a proper marketing strategy, you can actually get into right sort of marketing and make your business move. So then define a strong sales model without any flaws. You should definitely have a business sales model especially, which works, so that the possibility or the probability to get more conversion is quite high. Learning productive marketing tools for business enhancement. This is what I was talking about, marketing automation tools, which actually can get you more leads without spending in much of your money. Defining and fine-tuning goals to reach organization vision, because every company would have an organizer, because though we start with an initial process of this is what we want to achieve, but as the company grow, as the organization it enhances in terms of revenue as well as in terms of resources. What happens is that the vision we have looked, the process we started, it actually start kind of like, getting into a bigger perspective. That is what, whenever we actually form a venture, when we form a company or start a venture, we should always keep in mind that what is the vision we are looking after a decade, maybe after 2 decades. So that actually helps you in business growth. So a right business strategy again helps you to reach your organizational vision. Focusing on building strategy to attract the target audience. So basically, like I said, you have to really focus on building strategies to attract the target audience, because if you do not focus on a right thing, what happens is it gets scattered. You might have heard of the story of this what is it, from Mahabharata, where this Dronacharya asked his disciples to aim a parrot, a bird. And before they aim, he asked a question to every single disciple of his, that what do you see? So everybody says that I see the tree, I see the sky, I see all blah 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 blah. Arjun was his only disciple. He said that I only see the eye of the bird. That moment, Drona said that, okay, fine, you can shoot. And it exactly pierced the eye of the bird. So the moral of the story is that you should have, your focus should be perfect. Exactly, you should know what you are targeting. Otherwise, when you target a lot of things, like I said, the chances of it to get scattered is more. Now, we talked about strategies. Now the next thing what we need in a business, what I'm trying to convey to you is, what are the things which we need to have while doing marketing. First thing is we need to have a right marketing strategy. Second is that, like I already discussed, we should have a marketing model or a marketing plan which actually defines your vision and business goals, which actually develops a perfect strategy to achieve your goals. Like already discussed, we should have a strategy. How are we going to achieve these goals? How are we going to achieve money? How are we going to generate money? We have to create a market niche. So now, talking about niche, when we have a product or a service in our hand, what happens is that we need to know that, like I said, focus should be precise. So we should know who is the audience, or who are the people we need to focus upon. What is our product? Because this product is useful for a group of people. So that is where we call the niche. We are finding the niche. So first thing is that you should have a niche statement for your product or service. You should know who your customer avatar is. Customer avatar means who your targeted audience are. 3, you should have a business equation. Business equation means you're connecting your market, your niche statement. That means what is your product solving, or whose worry or grievances the particular product or service is solving. Who the product, that means the customer avatar, and the statement of what the product is capable of. When you connect this particular niche statement along with the customer avatar, you actually get your business equation. Now, this business equation is your company's persona. From that persona, we actually create even our tagline, telling that what exactly we do. So we have to design a buyer's persona. You might have learned in your theory classes, I guess, what a business persona and what buyer's journey is. So I would not like to go deep into that. Again, like I said, you have to have a niche statement. The niche statement is all about cutting, coming to a final dot where it's kind of like precise, it's confined, where what exactly you are aiming to. Marketing tools used to generate leads and outreach. That we have to have marketing tools which can actually help us to get a lot of leads and also outreach. Outreach means our awareness of our brand. People come to know that, okay, this group is here, these people are doing this much things. Because unless we do have a brand awareness, it is difficult to get leads. But if we have a brand awareness, we are quite common among the mob. It is easy to get leads, because whenever they come to a service, they directly come to us rather than our competitors. Now, Now, a detailed discussion of tools should be known to people who are doing this marketing plan, as well as of how to use them. So, considering all these factors, if you create a marketing plan, you can actually keep that as a benchmark and work on an implementation strategy. Now, so right now I've spoken about what marketing is. What are the basic things you need for a marketing? Like I said, you should have a marketing strat. You should have a perfect what do you call a vision, then a perfect marketing strategy, and then a marketing plan. So with these three things, you are actually going to implement these things. These basically, the other things are strategy is the method of how which you're going to implement it. Plan is marketing plan is a reference or the benchmark of which how I want to, what are the steps you're going to take when you are going to implement it. Now, what are the basic type of marketing? We deal with traditional marketing, outbound marketing, inbound marketing. Traditional marketing is basically the old type of things, which is not quite prominent these days because we have entered into a digital era. So traditional marketing refers to a brand promotion of any kind of channel, which you see, in television, in radios, where they promote the brand. They say there's like ads, advertisement, normal stuff. But outbound marketing is actually a process in which, uh, same thing like on a print media, if you can see in hoardings, cold callings, email blasts. Again, that's something kind of, we are actually on an outbound basis, we are doing a kind of marketing. Now, the third process is called inbound marketing, wherein what we are doing is that we are going through a 4 strategy methods called attract, engage, convert, and delight. Now I'll talk about inbound marketing strategy because this is something which most of us follow being into business. This is something which out here in Oria and FlexiCloud we thoroughly follow. That is how we really build our marketing strategy through inbound marketing. Okay, now inbound marketing methodology is based on attracting potential customers. Here, our strategy is always a pull factor than a push factor. We try to attract people rather than pushing them, disturbing them, bothering them. Okay, we do this thing rather than simply doing cold calls, sending n number of emails. We actually don't do that process. Our process is basically waiting. We want our right. We do our researches properly. If we have our data out here, we find out who might probably need our services. We then try to create try to create an inbound system wherein we attract people through our digital marketing things, especially the social media, through our social media handles, where we convey our message to our targeted audience through conceptualized images, gifs, contents, blogs, etc, etc. So many things which can actually attract. Basically, we focus more on content marketing. Through content marketing, we try to bring in people. So clients, and the other factors are like digital channels, again search engines, because somebody actually Googles you, find you, where are you. So initially we were doing, in our company, both our companies were doing quite good, but we never bothered about our SEO. Especially recently we understood that those companies which were not even doing half of us, they are above us in the SEO, because we could not actually maintain our SEO very well. So right now we understood that is very much important, especially abroad clients. We have so many abroad clients. So to expand, see, when it comes to scaling, only we look all these factors, because once a business moves on, we if we are okay with it, we did not go for another strategy. But when you think of scaling up, especially when crisis hits, especially like pandemic and all, when we see some falling down of that revenue blocks, that time we evolve for more and more strategies. So that is where, I'm just telling you an example, that's where my company found out that SEO wise we are not coming up. So my SEO people are working on that part. So I'm just telling you, these are few things which actually you need to know when you do a kind of inbound marketing strategies, in which SEO is important, a website is important, blog is important, social networks are important. I just mentioned about why SEO is there. That was the area which we neglected, because other things were quite working out for us. Okay, now inbound marketing strategy. Like I said, these are 4 stages. Attract. We try to attract the people using various methods as already discussed, and engage. Once they are engaged with us, then what we try to do is that we try into converting them through sales. We make them understand, aware of why exactly we are different, what is our USBs, how do they get special what do you call special care, or some kind of the quality works, which are the something about us which they are kind of convinced that okay, these are the right people for us. So that's where engagement works out. And convert is like, once the convincing part is done, actually the second thing is the difficult part, the convincing part. Once the convincing thing is done, automatically this converting work, wherein we get the people. And the delight area is mostly for the existing or the retaining clients, because once a client should be a forever client. So this is area where we have to delight the clients, actually making them special, or making them feel good, wherein their services are never kind of what do you call, obstructed, or any glitches we have. We try to make, we have a backup team, a support desk, which actually covers all kind of problems of our customers. So that's where I said delight. And also we give them promotional offers. We keep on delighting them, giving different festive offers and stuffs like that. So that's all about inbound marketing. Okay, now I was just telling you the attract. Why I told you about inbound marketing is that you should understand the relevance of inbound marketing and how it is connected to all these marketing tools. Because right now what I'm going to tell you is all connected to these tools. Once we just scroll on, towards the mid of the session regarding tools, you will understand why I said about inbound marketing. So now content, because what we said previously, that attract is the basic theory behind inbound marketing, the basic stage. So how do you attract? Content is that only thing which, because what you do, or how what do you call it, how good you are, how do people know it? People know it through content, especially in this digital era. How do they see it? They Google you, they search for your social media, and so there should be enough content to impress or attract these targeted audience. So now we are discussing about 4 type of contents. Based on that, we will talk on what are the type of tools we need for each type of contents. So images and graphics. One is images and graphics. The second is text. Third one is motion graphics. Fourth one is audio. Okay, now let's speak about images and graphics. As you all know, it is always used for social media marketing, especially because that is where we create conceptualized posters. Not only social media things, like I said, marketing collaterals. I suppose all of you all know what marketing collaterals or brand collaterals is. Those are brochures, product profiles, service profiles, which is quite appealing, attracting, and convincing. Even videos sometimes, but video is the next that comes in the next category. So right now we're talking about only images. So there are 3 types of images. Real images, like the real time figures. Infographics are special designs, or kind of it's called as infographics itself. Vectors are basically cartoonish or animated kind of stuff. That is what basically mostly vectors would be. Now content create. Now what we are talking about, where do we get these images, infographics, and vectors from? These are some of the tools by which we can go for: Canva, Adobe Spark, Easel, Trello, and now if you look on my right side, these are basically for people who are actually kind of not for amateurs. It's basically trained people, skilled people. They're to if they have all these things, Photoshop, Illustrator, Corel, these are basically done by my designers out here, or any company's designers, where they have people who are doing designing stuff. These are fun. But in left side, if you see Canva, Adobe Spark, Easel, and Trello, here the designs are already done. Already it's been available, and we just need to select it, and we don't need to make it using Illustrator, Photoshop, CorelDRAW, or any affinity designer such. So now talking about Canva, I think most of you all might be knowing what Canva is. I made this slide using this Canva. So Canva is something wherein it's one of a very innovative kind of venture these people have started, wherein non-experienced designers can use it. There are a lot of templates out there, icons, vectors, different type of. So any amateur person who wants to make a very beautiful, attractive, appealing presentation, they can use they can make using Canva. They can make posters, they can make marketing collaterals, lot of things. If you just train yourself a bit, you can make wonderful collaterals as such. So basic Canva is free, which does not cost anything. So right now, rather than simply putting a content and sending somebody, if you put in a poster form or format, or maybe a conceptual a message conveying, wherein that picture or the thing actually is so appealing, attractive, and it's kind of connecting to your customer who feels like, okay, let me look at it. At least he should have a glance at it. So that is where, rather than a simple content, these beautiful images can help you. So next time, anytime you need to you make a poster, you can go for basic Canva, and there's Canva Pro, which is $9.9 per month, and for enterprises it is $30. But right now, since when you become a startup or when you're connected to enterprise, this would be the thing you would be using for. And Adobe Spark is similar to Canva, but one of the main features is like they make brand stories. Their main feature is like they create kind of stories and stuff like that, which again is very kind of appealing and attractive. I've just mentioned few of the stuffs which I had used personally, or sometimes my team use it. Other than that, Photoshop, Illustrator. So I've just mentioned only there are even more than 50 kind of tools for this design itself. Then the individual membership for Adobe Spark is $9.9, and team means if you're taking for a bit of people, then it's $19.99. Trello is again another kind of what do you call, the design tool, which can be used for making social media designs and marketing assets. Marketing assets means, like I said, a brochure, a company profile, or a pitch deck as such. They have a long range of templates. Mostly Trello is used by professionals. Canva is used by kind of even students, even research scholars. Many people for their kind of presentations they use it. But Trello is mostly professionals are the ones who use Trello more. Easel also same kind of. Easel is basically mainly used to create Instagram stories, and its basic package is $6.25. Now, till now we were talking about images. Now, the next one is text. In content, we have discussed about image, text, video, motion graphics, and fourth one was audio. So we covered images. Now the next one is content. So how do we make content and text content, and how will this our targeted audience read it? Of course, it is through blogs. Since you are all you live in a very digital era, blogs are not we're very blogs are some things which you don't know. It's kind of very familiar to you. Then PDF documents, brochures, emails. Because why text content is important is that, like I said, SEO needs the Google the Google Search Console. When it picks all these data, the content should be the text content should be more, so that Google understand, their algorithm understands that, okay, these people are doing this. That's how the ranking, it really helps in SEO. So the blogs really do help. And it also gives a better communication, because rather than a word, a text, a detailed text gives you more clarity. Okay, now how do you make these texts, and where do Google Documents is a beautiful thing which all of us use, because that's where we save our data, whether it be kind of in a Microsoft Excel or in a Word thing. Once a Google Doc is done, you can directly upload to a mailer or whatever is it. So text is mostly Google Documents is something which professional companies use a lot more. Even Canva is also is used for on the text purpose. Canva is also used, and other than that, content management systems like WordPress, so many content management systems can also be used, out of which WordPress is quite easy and quite common to most of the people. Grammarly is, as I think many of you might know, it's something which is used to kind of check your grammar and stuff like that. If your vocab is wrong, Grammarly actually it shows a red underline whether you are. So if you're not very good with English, or you don't need to worry. Actually, you just make a content, put it across, and then you can see that whether your vocab or the grammar is correct. And even if you can't make a content, then you can do another thing called you can use Word AI. In what happens in Word AI is you can actually take the concept from anywhere, just put it in Word AI. It gives you content in a different format with the same concept. So this is very kind of very unique and good one. Though I've not used it, few of my colleagues use it, so that's where I got a reference from Word AI. And yes, I think I've already discussed all these things. Google Doc, format text and paragraphs. It edits and shares. Google Doc, as you all know, if one person creates it, if it is shared, another person can edit it. You don't need to copy paste again and kind of like write it from again or something like that. You can actually just simply edit it, and it can be accessed to multiple persons if sometimes they put in a password, or sometimes it's open. So Google Doc is a very important thing. WordPress, as I discussed, is a CMS system. Even Joomla, Drupal, these are all content management system where the content is there and people can read it. Grammarly, we have already discussed. So we have discussed images, we have discussed content tools. We finished 2 sets of tools. One was for images and one was for text. Now let's come to motion graphics. Motion graphics, as you all know, there are 2 types of motion graphics. One is video and the other is GIF. Basically, it could that YouTube is doing a massive massive kind of disruption as such, because people are interested more in video nowadays. In my company itself, we get a lot of video works because people like to see the moving images, conceptualized image, animated stuff, conceptualized videos wherein people understand that the targeted audience get a feel that okay, this company is we are doing this services. So videos are something very preferred these days, as well as GIF. If you can see in many of the social media handles, other than a simple poster, they try to create GIFs also. It's something called Gen Z's favorite. That means this era's people's favorite, and gives more clarity stuff. So video marketing is kind of very much happening these days. It involves video as mainly as a medium. It's done through YouTube and other social media stuffs. It also creates a brand awareness and helps us to generate more leads, as well as conversion rate is quite good with videos. So speaking about video tools, Canva and InVideo are a few of the tools which can be used for making videos. Canva, actually, with using Canva, we can make the background images and stuffs. Okay, so let me come to InVideo. Is something which is a automated video. So Canva has a difference from InVideo, because in Canva we use mainly the background images through which we can actually finally make a video. But InVideo is something which is an automated video creation tool, which is for especially people who are very conscious about their budgets, who wants a kind of constrained budget. InVideo is something which you can go for, and certain features is kind of limited, and it's a paid subscription thing. There are a lot of free plans in this. Typeito is also a similar one, where you can actually get a video made with a modest budget, similar to InVideo, but Typeito has got different kind of features again. But it has a brand kit, and there's a easy and drag editor. You can just pull in pictures and bring in, and then automatically, once that slides are all done, it converts into a video. Edami is also a kind of something very famous, but I think recently it was acquired by GoDaddy or something. They've purchased something like that. I've heard it somewhere. Bidami video looper pedal can rewind fast play, pause. That's something which, like, it can, that those are the features of Vidami, wherein the fast forward, play, pause thing, everything, it's kind of like, it really creates into a beautiful, it evolves into a beautiful video. And Vidami automatically if you have clips, then automatically there's no video editing required, it automatically generates a video as such. This is something quite good. Vidami is one of the tool I like, as well as in video. Vibits is something again quite different. It's also offering a lot of useful templates, and this is also like, one-click solution. One-click solution, you have a lot of template, drag and pull in, put it in all a slide, and then once and then give a click thing, it makes a video. For mainly the one of the features of Vibits, it's easy to access logo, watermarks, video intros, outros, and text overlays, etc. This is which, and it actually it automatically creates a color palette. I hope you understand what color palette. Color palette means, if there is a color, there's a contrast. Sorry, there's a contrast and a variation within colors. So once, if you give a color, if you give a one color, the typical the contrast and the variation color which has to be which has to come in that mix, VB Bits already, it automatically formats it. Okay, and the last one is basically audio. Anchor, Audacity, Squadpost, etc. A few of the, even Clubhouse is also similarly kind of an audio kind of platform, wherein because these days it's quite famous, and people are trying to connect their customers. People are interacting each other. Like I said, no, you have to create a brand awareness among people so that they get attracted to you. All connected to one theory: attract, engage, convert, delight. Okay, now till now we were speaking about, the entire thing was about inbound marketing, and as well as what are the basic thing that is used to attract customers was content. So we spoke about 4 contents, and to make these 4 contents, we also discussed about all the kind of tools. Now the next step of marketing is basically content marketing. Content marketing is email marketing. Emails are using email marketing, though, is a different thing, but in content marketing, emails are also a medium used to transfer the contents. Search engine is again then the one. Social media, WhatsApp messages is because we have WhatsApp presentation message, wherein we can transfer to groups, to individuals. So it actually helps to especially for B2C business, this WhatsApp messages really help it. Then other platforms are like Facebook. These are all social media platforms mainly. But social media marketing as such is connected to content marketing. So all those things that are there in the social media marketing is there in content marketing also. Next one is social media marketing. Though the slides I put it in content marketing and social media marketing separate, but all are again very closely connected. All the contents that's been see, content marketing is actually you're marketing the content through platforms like social media handles, and social media marketing is actually you're using those content which we have to market through our handles. And in the social media marketing tools basically are Hootsuite, Buffer, Zoho Social, Sprout Social, and Social Bee. We use Buffer out here. This is what we use in our company. We have also used HubSpot's we have used, no, that was CRM what we have used. Buffer is the one we have used. We have also used a Sprout thing. Sprout Social is also a similar tool, wherein what is the specialty of all these things is that you have a image or a content or a video which you have already prepared. You can actually set your set these contents inside these platforms, wherein automatically you can actually set it for a week. According to what your settings are, this particular things do. It's kind of automated rather than you manually post it. These are the tools which can be used. One is Buffer, like I said, we are using it out here. Buffer operates a freemium model also, but again the freemium models have got a lot of limitations. So when you have so many things to post, we actually go for a paid plan. It allows you to customize your messages. Like I said, all the content, all the messages you have, you actually upload to this platform, set a date, set a timing, automatically it gets posted. Hootsuite also similar like that, and the price is almost $30 per month for 10 social profiles. They've also got free plans for scheduling 30 messages across 3 social media profiles. Yeah, Sprout Social. Sprout Social is also all-in-one kind of social media thing. It's a scheduling tool again. All these are basically scheduling tools. But again, there are some other features other than the scheduling tool also they can do. Zoho is similar to that. It has got some other features too also. Because most of the business people in business ecosystem, I've seen Zoho Social is their favorite. The package also includes, in case of Sprout Social, the package actually includes a lot of variety of analytics. So that analytics is useful because we understand that how many people have seen the post, viewed the post, what is it. There are so many criteria which gives you an analysis of what has happened to this particular post, or which actually helps us to understand that okay, this sector is just one who's more engaged with us, so that sector is not that much engaged, so we have to strategize again. So analysis gives you a lot of idea to reframe our strategies. Now, Zoho Social, like I said, one of the kind of obsessed. I might say that many are obsessed with Zoho Social as such, because it saves a lot of money. And unless I've seen few of my associates and friends, they're using Zoho Social unless they had a customized software for themselves for this scheduling and analytical part and other social media handling as such. So I'm just saying that these are the few tools which you can use. Buffer is kind of very friendly and very easy to use. But again, like I said, no, it depends upon each person's taste, which you almost everything perform. I mean, how we use the performance, or what is the intention of using this is kind of almost similar, though there are some different features in it. But it depends upon people's taste, each individual's taste, like what I should go for, what my company needs, or I mean some similar things which is all connected to the mindset. Okay, social media design. Social media design, as we already discussed, all these designs are bought from images, the image part. Already we have discussed the same thing in the content part. Now, hashtag is something very important these days for social media. Now, if you don't know what hashtag you have to put, you can go for this hashtag generator, hashtag creator, hashtag analytics, top hashtags. If you get into this, you can actually know a lot of stuff. For example, hashtag generator, it generates top random or live hashtags that actually shows you the best hashtags you need for that particular post. Something with the content we have, if you put that content, the hashtag generator will itself find that what are the best hashtags that can be used. Then creator is also same thing. You can hashtag analytics analyzes a hashtag to get some analytical information about your hashtag for your marketing strategy. This is quite good because a strategy is involved out here. Again, top hashtags, similar kind of best hashtags. Okay, now, so we have inbound marketing over, content marketing over, social media marketing over. The next one is search engine marketing. Search engine marketing, like I said, we have to be in ranking. We have to be ranking good in SEO, especially when the Google search it, the company needs to come up so that this is the Google picks you up and shows to your target audience, okay, these are the people in the good or quite noted in the industry. So that's a feedback the Google gives, and once the feedback is given, it actually helps you again generate more leads. So that is what the importance of search engine marketing. In case of search engine marketing, Ahrefs, Google Console, SEMrush, Screaming Frogs are the few things which have been used. Again, SEMrush is basically used by SEO people. I mean, those people who are totally focused or who want to take what is it, SEO as their domain, or want to work in that, they go for SEMrush. Other than that, people, amateurs or kind of like, or even organization, they use Ahrefs a lot, because it's something next to it's regarding, if you say that, it's an audit tool, next which actually analyze your website for more common SEO issues and monitor your SEO health over time. It gives you a report like where exactly you have to change your SEO, what exactly the issues you are facing in the and it has a tool set for backlinks. So backlinks is something which we have to create very sharp, because otherwise, though we have created contents also, but it's kind of like a connected loop. If you're not building the loop properly, the benefit would not be reaped. That is the reason why Ahrefs helps you, because whenever there is a broken backlink or something in an SEO analysis of a website, we get it and we can actually rectify it. Now, SEMrush is again a popular, like I said, SEO tool. It's a specific SEO tool, which specialize in keyword research, competitor analysis, and Google ad campaign optimization. Screening Frog is also one thing similar. It's basically used to crawl your website, and like I said, no broken links. You can actually find where the links are broken, and you can actually rectify it. And it's mainly focused on on-page SEO issues. Okay, so here we finish SEM marketing tools also. So again, I'm just to freshen up, I'm just telling you, SEMrush, Screaming Frog, and Ahrefs are few tools that can be used for SEO analysis. It's basically analytical kind of tools. Okay. Yeah. Email marketing. Email marketing. What is the email marketing? What do we do with the email marketing? We kind of have a content, we try to impress the customer, sending them email. And there are two type of if you either you send to get a proposal, or a kind, get a proposal done. That means you do this service and letting know the client that we are doing this service. Second is like more on a promotional kind of content, where it's like there's a promotion happening here. So these are the few kind of contents we push through email marketing. So MailChimp, Sendinblue, Constant Contact are few things which are, two tools which are used in email marketing. In MailChimp, what happens is that there'll be a content, there'll be a data. So MailChimp actually connects this data, the content that has been sent to the data, and automatically this mail is being sent to this n number of people who are there in that data. Sendinblue is also a similar type of thing. So it's like I said, easy drag and drop email builder. And there'll be autoresponders, like how many have seen their mails, have they opened their mails, have they checked their mails, and so basically analytics is being done by MailChimp as such. Now prices are also quite excellent. A Constant Contact is also similar kind, but for the it's basically mostly used by beginners. Constant Contact, which is as it is, it's quite easy in operation. And Sendinblue is also something similar to it. It has a design tool with excellent reports, advanced A/B testing, and good contact management. Basically, you need to really check your contact management system so that right data is being provided, and that is being rightly got by the so-called potential customers. Now, analytics. So what we have done is we have done something to market. We have done the implementation part. Now, what is the next thing we have to do? Once the implementation of done, then we have to do the analysis and review. What happened with these things? We have done all. This is something which I have found very, very kind of common in Kerala out here. Everybody do a lot of things, but analysis wise and review, people are very kind of lazy, or I don't know that particular part. When people are like they just want to do a lot of stuff, but rather than doing a little bit of stuff and reviewing of what exactly it's all about, and then if required, we can actually revise the strategy, change the strategy, and bring in new kind of strategies to implement. But that can be only done once the analysis part is done. So these are the few analytical tools: Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager, Search Console, etc. Google Search Console, like, it's monitor, maintains, and troubleshoot your site presence in Google search results. It optimizes your content with search analytics. Then the content you make actually gets on Google through this Google Search Console. So inside the website, we actually do a site map, so that the Google can actually come and search the contents whatever we have built out here. Google Analytics, it tracks and reports the websites, how many people have come, how many people have visited, from where they have visited, what age group they have visited. So a lot of things can be known via Google Analytics, as well as improving online advertisement with marketing analytics, search engine optimization. So search engine optimization is quite vital, especially when doing a business which is new or which is very happening. So for a lead generation process, search engine optimization is very crucial. Tracking conversion and finding the target audience. So tracking conversation also can be done using Google Analytics. Tag Manager is to manage tags on your website without editing, citing your site code. There's a GTM, that means Google Tag Manager. It uses an interface to add and update Google Ads, Google Analytics. So basically, it reduces errors and allows you to deploy tags on your site quickly. So that's about now the analytic part also done. So now how do we do? Because we need a platform wherein we actually collectively we bring in a particular things where these things A, B, C, D, E, F have to go. So we need a platform in which we have to keep all these things. That is where, and we have to see that this is really happening also. So that is where we create something called a CRM. That is a CRM is created for it's something which is very essential for a contextual marketing efforts. Basically, some companies make their own CRM. For example, in my company, in Uria, we have a CRM which is built by us, and in FlexiCloud, since it's a hosting company, we actually use Freshworks. So there are tools for, you have heard about HubSpot, I guess. HubSpot is again, it's a CRM suite, which is inbound marketing. And one more thing, I've not include anything regarding sales as such. Though Salesforce is also a contextual marketing or a CRM thing. That is why Salesforce is involved. But Salesforce also has got some sales automation stuffs also. Even HubSpot has the same thing, but here I'm talking only about marketing related tools. HubSpot is all-in-one. Okay, provides content marketers with all the tools that needs. So what happens is that once we need any kind of these HubSpots have got templates. It actually assigns if you have employees, we have customers, you can actually assign tasks. You can actually look at your delivery time, when is the delivery, when is the task, and when it's been started, what is the process. Everything is kind of like managed in this CRM. And Freshwork is mainly used by these people who, since it's cloud-based customer relationship management, most of the hosting companies actually use Freshwork. Then the other type of marketings are conversational marketing, which is actually, talk to people, engage a conversation, get them convinced, let them understand to know what exactly you're doing, keeping a network. Basically, conversational marketing happens by building a network, by collaborating, associating, and be an active part in ecosystem. So buzz marketing is again another vital marketing strategy. Word of mouth, referral. You get a kind of people hear about you. They actually talk about it, and the brand gets outreach. Personalized marketing is actually more of kind of, you might have a you actually personalize that stuff by creating storytelling campaigns. Even there's something called personal branding also, wherein you actually create a person who's a brand ambassador, or who is actually a kind of influencer, or somebody who can actually be a face of that company, and wherein you can people get to know that person, and through that person they get into that to know that what that company does. So something I have done a lot of personal branding of my own, wherein a lot of services come through me and get into back to my company. So I'm just telling you, there are different kinds of stuffs which we do to bring in a lot of marketing. And brand marketing is something that's a different topic as such, that is connected to brand, because brand involves brand creation, where we create brand collaterals, and then brand management, brand positioning, and finally brand marketing. So brand marketing is something we are actually shaping the brand as such in the mindset of people, and an emotional connection is being built with a targeted audience, either through creativity or humor or inspiration, or you can take any kind of element. So guerrilla marketing is again clever kind of placing bold, clever brand activations. Therein, I mean, keeping your outreach more with your audience, and then and again it's a cost-effective way. It's not guerrilla marketing is not followed by many, because it, like I said, it depends upon people to people, their perspective, their codes and conduct, like their structure, how the company has a framework, different stuffs. Affiliate marketing, native marketing is kind of just when brand pays reputable publishers, like it's kind of like a localized kind of stuffs where people get connected, and then they just sponsor your article and video, something like that. Not that they're famous out here. Affiliate marketing is again, there are a lot of people who do for us affiliate marketing, wherein they are our associates, wherein they are connected to us. So they actually take service from us, and then they sell it out there, but they are connectors kind of. So affiliate marketing is also very happening kind of marketing, which brings in a lot of revenue generation. So I think I conclude out here that best marketing doesn't even feel like that's marketing, because it is automatically evolved. You should not make people feel like they're saying about, oh, I'm good. Nothing like that. It's a process by which we make people say that, okay, these people are the best in industry. So we know that we need to reach that goal of making that we are the best in industry, so that we keep on doing strategies so that we become. But you should never make it so openly visible that, okay, I'm just talking about we are the best. So when we talk it like that, it becomes a bit of artificial. So work on strategies by which it becomes so organic and so natural that people adore you and finds you the right for choosing services from us. Yeah, I think that's where I end.
Thank you, ma'am. If the participants have any queries, you may either directly unmute and ask, or you can use the chat box.
People tend to ignore the advertisement that comes through email. So how can we make our company ads stand out among them? Okay, of course. Aparna, that happens because so many people are in competition. It's because mostly of the fact that too many product or services have competition. So this goes as people get irritated. Like I said, no, too much mails being pushed and stuff. Right, it is because of that reason we get kind of reluctant to open these mails when we know that it's kind of a ad. And most of the times the email setup, the email settings have got a framework in which these kind of ads, it goes to spam. Okay, So you are asking me how can we make our company stand out? Yeah, okay. Rather than an advertisement or simply making a common thing, if you write to the company an email, customized, okay, I would say customized, where they don't feel that it's an ad, but kind of like connecting to them on a personalized note, or maybe like connecting to them initially, or even if you're not connecting to over a phone or a conversation also, it doesn't matter. If your email is so customized, people would read rather than simple advertisement, and then you put your ad as a link or additional to it, definitely it would stand out. That's my personal experience. I've seen it. I hope, Aparna, you got your answer. Any more queries on that, Aparna?
Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. What criteria can we use to mark the what criteria can we use to measure the effectiveness of marketing team of an organization? Oh my God, sweetheart, that's an impossible thing. But definitely we have got our own tools, our own strategies. It depends upon service to service and kind of like um, organization to organize. They different people adopt different kind of effectiveness. For example, we out here we have got team meetings. We have got I told her we have created a CRM structure, a CRM for in-house thing, where we come to know exactly what services, what task is been assigned, and how do they perform each day on a daily basis. If we check it, we get a daily analysis. We also get a monthly, weekly, so we get to know that what is the productivity of our team. And as well as we do have a strategic team meeting where we understand that where exactly we are standing. Like I said, no, we have a benchmark, a vision, what we have to reach. For that, we create steps. So each step is being noted, and an analysis is being made. So this is a simple criteria, but again, that for that criteria, we do have customized tools for it, which sometimes we create in-house, or sometimes we get it from some kind of software done or something like that. But mostly it's kind of a strategy. Yes, Kasturi Mohan has raised a hand. Yeah.
Good evening, ma'am. It was actually a pleasure listening to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am, I'm somebody who actually wants to start off a company by myself. That is,
Wow.
yes, ma'am. I wanted to start off a company which is related to soft furnishing for apartments. Ma'am, starting off a company, I will be like in the beginning, it's just going to be me. And after that, I'll have to slowly build a team. So when it comes to an initial marketing phase, what kind of marketing do you actually recommend? Is it like social media marketing, or like paperwork, paper related marketing?
Okay. So, like I said, Kasturi, this is a long-time process. Marketing is not something, because those who are really good marketers, they do a lot of back-end works. They understand that doing some kind of if there are 10 number of what do you call, theories or strategies. People know that time to time, even though it is moving, but once what do you call, there's a change in the system, or because of due to various external factors. Real marketers know that you should always be keen, focused, because anytime this can change. The game can change anytime, because there are so many people coming to industry. And like you said, right now you said you want something related to soft furnishing, right? People are already in it, so you have to create something by which you have to create a niche out there. Now, creating this niche, you have to strategize it first, documentize first. You need to know, you have to decide what exactly you're doing, what is the content you need to make your targeted audience understand. And you told me you asked me what kind of strategy, social media marketing. See, media marketing is fine, but the question is, Kasturi, how are you going to stick in this market unless you know what is the range of your competitors, right? So you have to do a competitive analysis first. You have to do a SWOT analysis first. Once you've done a competitive analysis, you know what's the range of your competitors, and this is the benchmark they've set. So you can actually adopt so much strategies which they have already adopted, wherein you bring in a new kind of niche, a difference, something, a variety by which your that's called competitive edge. Bring in a competitive edge, definitely can. The social media stuff and all, it's quite common. Definitely, being a single person, you can definitely do it. But again, I'm telling you, you have to focus more on your strategies, documentize it, do competitive analysis, do SWOT analysis, do a lot of framework. Make a framework first, and then decide what you have to go first. Try to build in a good network. Talk to people who are in the business ecosystem. Try to connect, because you have to understand who. First, you have to decide that whether you're going for a B2B thing or a B2C thing in soft furnishing itself. Because if it is a B2B thing, then you have to connect with builders and stuff like that, because they are doing it in a large scale. If you're going to a client wise, it's again a B2C thing. So you have to decide which market are you focusing. Like I said, the first thing is focusing, then getting into this, because social media, these are all, it happens. It's kind of like these steps are later on things. Before that, there's n number of steps, Sweet, you have to do, because startup is something, it's not an easy ride.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a pleasure talking to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Yes, Annie's I answered, I guess. Anybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Adira Vijay. Is yours a girls' college or something? I heard Niven was the one who contacted me, right? That was not a girls' college.
Yes, ma'am.
Why I asked this specific question is because I see only girls. Huh? Okay. Adira Vijay Kumar. According to you, what is the most difficult marketing challenge faced by SMEs during pandemic world? Okay. Adira, existence itself is the biggest marketing challenge we are facing. Because see, if people are attracted, also the economy has crashed to that level wherein people cannot afford as the most the biggest challenge it's not the marketing challenge, it's the whole together challenge that we are facing is we are not getting the right audience. However, we try, because the audience are kind of like getting into a very narrow funnel. Because some cannot afford money, some though they are willing to take up it, and some who are okay with the money also right now do not want to take a risk, because they do not know what is the next state we are going to face. So altogether, looking at it, like it's a quite difficult but still, since we are in a digital platform, like we are in a kind of a system wherein we are a brand developers, we do IT works. We have got quite presence wherein it's kind of not a very tedious task for us. What I said was about the general trend, what is in marketing. But in my company, I face more on payment issues. I have real payment issues happening post-pandemic. Marketing challenge, I think, not that very hard. We are quite good with our strategies are very quite strong. So being a marketing strategist, I could never say that there's a horrible challenge. Each challenge actually is evolving into a new strategy. But payment, yes, definitely something which we are really troubled with. Yes, anything else?
Yes, ma'am. I think we have come to the end of the Q&A session. Link for the feedback and e-certificates will be put in the chat box shortly. Now, I invite Ms. Ritu Robbie to propose the vote of thanks.
Kavya, 1 second. If anybody has anything up, like Kasturi was asking about, she wanted a startup, or she wanted to do a startup or something. So regarding that, if you want, you can actually take my LinkedIn ID from Niven. He'll give you. So anything there, you can contact me. Okay. Always willing to help.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So, good evening to the Honorable Resource Person, delegates from other institutions, faculty members, and my dear friends. New duty is more urgent than that of returning thanks. The root of joy is gratefulness. On behalf of Bhavan's Royal Institute of Management, I would like to extend our sincere thanks to Ms. Anuja Bashir for not only sparing our invaluable time for us, but also for enlightening us with her commendable talk on the subject. Thank you, ma'am. I thank our respected Dean, Dr. Rajgopal Nair, and all other faculties for their presence and guidance for this occasion. I take immense pleasure in extending my gratitude to the delegates from other institutions for sparing their time with us. Let me take this opportunity to extend my sincere thanks to IEDC Executive Committee members and innovators for their constant support and encouragement. And finally, I thank all the participants for contributing their time and making this event a success. Tomorrow we have a session on an entrepreneur's experience from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. by Mr. Krishna Swami A, Managing Partner at Confidence Education. Hope to see you all in the next section of IEDC. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
once
you.
again, Anusha ma'am, for accepting our invite and being part of Bounce IDC. It was indeed a wonderful session with lots of insights.
Thank you, Steffi. I think you are there in my LinkedIn, right? I guess I've seen your name.
Yes, ma'am. I am the CEO, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, Steffi. Great connecting to you all, and good that so many girls came up with a lot of queries. So definitely looking forward to hear from you all again. Okay. Thank you so much for inviting.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now I request the host